Hi, welcome to The Love Life. I'm Dr. Margaret. I'm the daughter of Doris, a brilliant Black woman who taught me to walk with unapologetic pride in who I am. And as a result of that, I love being a Black woman. And I also love Black women. And because of that love, I'm in constant awe of the unmatched presence and range of Black women. If you've ever spent time with a Black woman, you know just how magical and real we are. And you also know how spiritual of an experience it is to be with a Black woman and to sit with a Black woman and to learn from a Black woman. Because I say spiritual because it was the moment that I met myself as a Black woman that I actually met God. And so my guests tonight, when I look at them, I see not only myself, but I also see God. And so I welcome my sisters on this final episode of season 1 of The Love Life. I welcome my sisters and friends to The Love Life. Together we are known as G.A.W.D, the Grown Ass Women's Delegation. One day, a few years ago, I ran into a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in a while. We talked for a little while, and she eventually asked me about my love life. Well, I knew what she was asking me. And any other time, I would have said, oh girl, I'm still single. But at that moment, something clicked. While I was not in a romantic relationship, my life was certainly not void of love. There's an abundance of ways that my heart, soul, and life are full of and overflowing with love. Welcome to The Love Life. I'm Dr. Margaret, and on this show, I talk to some incredibly loving people about what that big 4-letter word means to them. So join us as we explore the question, how's your love life? Hey, y'all. Hey. So I'm really excited about this conversation tonight. And before we jump into it, I just want to explain to our viewers what we're doing. So G.A.W.D originally recorded this episode in September of 2020, which seems like a really long time ago at this point. And they were my first recorded episode. And so tonight, what we decided to do was have both a live episode and show you some of the footage from our original taping. So throughout this conversation, we'll take a look back at some of those comments, as well as share some live conversation. So let's get into it. First of all, I want to ask, how are you all doing this evening?
So lovely.
Great.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little tired. I know I'm not alone, but I'm really excited about this conversation. So as you all know, well, first, let me just ask you to share a little bit about who you are. For our viewers that don't know you, just share a little bit about who you are and how you show up in the world. So let's start with Dr. Donna.
Well, I am Donna. I am from Donald and Veronica Coltrane. I am from good eating and a lot of love. I am from healing and laughter. I best describe myself as a spiritual practitioner in this world. My life is about holistic living for everyone and people having access to that.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Donna. How about you, Shalise, Reverend Shalise?
Yes, I am a person who tries very hard to live authentically in this world. In fact, that's about all I have the energy for. I think I get that from my mama, who always kept it real. I walk in the lineage of her, and also my grandmother, who pushed me in ministry. I love to be outdoors. I love to move my body, and I love spending time with y'all. So I'm so glad to be here.
Yes.
All right, Lisa.
So I'm Lisa Yaboa. My day job is I am a lead pastor of the Southeast Raleigh Table, but at night I want to consider myself to be like a spiritual ninja. I always say to people that I live at the intersections of lots of cultural realities, and I feel like that helps me to feel as though I belong anywhere that I am. I'm a glutton for joy, a life enthusiast. Like Shalise, I'm in a love affair with my life and choose to show up authentically, not adding any caveats or edits or tweaks, because I only have one and I'm gonna live it.
Yes, yes, Lord. And then last but not least, Angela, Sister Angela.
It's good to be here. I'm Angela, daughter of Lithia and granddaughter of Charlene and Flora. And I find myself as identifying as like a bridge builder. I'm in between. I love to celebrate. I love outdoors, love being an athlete. I love using my body. But most, I guess, how I show up in the world oftentimes is an A-type planner, learner, student of life, but most importantly, probably a messenger, someone who tries to communicate some things through my own life and bringing folks into a new revelation of themselves. That's the hope. So it is good to be here with all my sisters.
Yes.
Yes, range. Yes, range. All this range. So one of the things I want to share with our viewers is that we are God, and we named ourselves this. We named ourselves this because we know that as Black women and as sisters, there was just a kindred thread that runs through all of us, in that we are wanting to be our most authentic selves. We want to be our best selves, but we also want to be like our grown ass selves. And like being grown doesn't mean, oh, we do everything right, or we have it all together, or we're living, this luxurious, beautiful life every day. But it's that we're showing up for our lives every day and we're doing our work. And that's what it means to be grown. And so viewers, I hope you will dig into this conversation and really listen to these women. We've had several conversations about several topics, and we'll tell you a little bit more about how to find those conversations. But tonight we're going to talk about love, because love is this kind of elusive but very close construct or idea that each one of us interprets very differently. And so I thought it would be great to talk to 4 grown-ass women about what love means to them. So as you know, one of the questions I ask all of my guests is, how's your love life? And so we're actually going to go to a clip of Donna, your response to this question. And then a little later, we're going to show Lisa's response. But Angela and Shalise, I want you to be thinking about how to share with our viewers, how's your love life? So first, we'll listen to what Donna had to say about her love life.
My love life is robust. It is as wide as it is deep, and it's organic. It is one of these things where it is constantly changing, constantly shifting, growing and expanding all the time, because I interface with so many different people. My family is such a core part of who I am, and so it's vast. It's just very vast.
Donna, your love life is vast. Are you still feeling that way today?
Yeah, it doesn't shrink, it only grows. And I think the miracle of it is that there's always capacity for more love. Like there's never a point at which you stop being able to consume or have or embody or experience more. And just when you think you're at your tipping point and you're overflowing, all of a sudden now you see that you've grown as a vessel to contain it.
Okay. Yes. So Lisa, you also responded to this question in a unique way. And so I want our viewers to see that now.
I would say my love life is mysterious right now, meaning that love seems to be coming to me in unexpected ways, in some surprising ways. Maybe I can confess that I used to have maybe a formula for how I would kind of wrap up what it meant to be loved in my life. And I feel like this is a season where over and over again, people are loving me, things are affirming me that I had not necessarily kept my eyes open to. So my love life is mysterious.
Lisa, any reflections on that as you listen to that?
Yeah, I'm thinking about how with every new person that I meet, and so I'm going to think about love in regards to just our everyday, ordinary encounters. How every single person that we engage is stretching me to use different muscles in regards to what it means to love other people. I mean, if you think about November, the election cycle, if you think about January and all the craziness of the beginning of this year, we were having to lean into what does it actually look like to love people who aren't always lovable, and to put love to the test. And I feel like my love is mysterious because my love is having to hold hands with grace. And sometimes I'd rather love hold hands with conditions. And so, yeah, people are helping me to be a practitioner of yoking love and grace together.
Mm-hmm. So, Angela and Shalise, as you think about kind of where you are right now on June 24th, 2021, how's your love life? Angela?
I'll take that. I think about it being, it's an adjustment. It is in a maturing state. I think about like a good meal that was bomb and you just savored it, and then 4 days later you refry it or you remake it. If it's still bomb, you know it's love. I'm in that's transition, and where I just had a second baby, which has been amazing, but the expansion, like my sister Donna talks about, just puts you in this new space. So all the relationships in my life, because of the pandemic and because of baby, and I left my full-time job and in a new journey of my own financial freedom, and just so much shift, it makes these elements of love show up in new ways. So I'm kind of in a unknown. I'm not sure how it's going to look at the end, but it feels like the love is being tried in a way where I know it's love, because it tastes just as good when it's put in the tortilla on that fourth day.
Wrap your love up in a tortilla and watch it transform.
Taco love. That's that taco love.
That's good, Angela. How about you, Shalise?
Yeah, Angela, if I had known you were making food references, I would have gone first. That's hard to beat
I'm hungry.
tortillas and tacos and stuff. My love life is good. I mean, I just feel really satisfied. I was thinking about this earlier today. Maybe I was, had this show in mind, but I was just thinking of like how I just been well loved throughout my life, and I think I've carried that love with me, right? And even at times where the ways in which people in my life, I think in my family, some of my family members in particular, the ways in which they're might be available to show up for me has shifted. I still carry with me an assurance of their love that allows me to, like, I just still feel it, as strongly as I did when they were, when they were doting on me when I was a kid. And in any way that, maybe I expected something of them that I didn't get from them, I've come to learn the people in my life for who they are. I've come to learn that, I get certain things that I need from different people, and been able to fill my life with those people who supply me with the full love. And I also, and I don't want to get like always like too spiritual and like and deep about it. And I'm not about to do that. I just want to say,
please go there.
No, I just because like one time I was in this little like group. I don't know, it's in like a worship service or something. We broke out into small groups, and they were talking about like maybe something that you're looking forward to. And I was like, like finding love. And this lady was like, oh, yeah, that's right, that agape love. And I'm like, no, sis, I want a man. and so I thank God for the man in my life. I'm grateful for that that love is as well in that part of my love life. So it's full.
Amen.
Yeah, that's good. Lots of guests throughout the season have used that word full, that their love life is full. And I feel the same way. I think that for me, like my love life is growing, as Donna shared earlier. And I think just orienting your life around love actually creates the space and the capacity to always kind of bump into love, to always be able to receive love, and to always be able to give love. And so I think for me, like, my love life is full and it's growing. So I'm looking forward to the overflow, and maybe I'll share a little bit of that on season 2. So let's chat a little bit about, like, what experiences informed your understanding of love. You know, some of us learn about love through heartbreak. Some of us learn what love is because we weren't loved well. But some of us learn about love because we were, right? So, like, what experiences, what shaped your understanding of love?
I don't mind jumping in. I oftentimes think it's impacted by the F word, I would say. There's 3, mostly my family, you know, just the ways in which I was formed, how I learned love. But really, my friendships, honestly, I have such good female friendships that have trailed with me through my life. And we have gone through failures. That's the other one. The ways in which I failed my sisters at times, or been failed by my lovers, or in the mix of the friendship, the family, and the failures, I learned lessons. So those 3 things, probably prioritizing my friendships really being like the case in which I practice love. That's probably why it was so impactful, and learn my lessons, is what informed what I think love is, in that way.
That's good, Angela. Family, friendships, and failure. Yeah, that's good. Anyone else have any thoughts to share?
Yeah, I feel like the first time we had kind of conversation about this, I talked about my friendships as well, and just how much people allowed me to be who I am. They didn't ask me to be anything other than Lisa. And for me, that's what true love looks like, that I don't have to shapeshift to be accepted, that who I show up as, I just belong. But I'm also realizing that when I look at the opposite, and the times when people have fumbled with me, when they've not been good caretakers of my life or of my heart or of my desires or of my passions or of my dreams, that also is a teacher, and has informed my way of understanding love. And I did have some early experiences where people they said a thing, but they weren't able to live the thing fully. And it left me always believing that unless I hustled for the adoration, or for the validation, or for the affirmation, I was just never going to be good enough to be worthy of their love. And I wanted to, like, bring that up because Margaret, you framed the question, what has informed, what experiences have informed, is that I realize now with people in my life, I never want them to have to hustle for my love. Like, that feeling a thing that didn't make me feel whole has, like, led me into a life of never wanting to invite other people to have to do that very thing. And so I feel like it sometimes in the places where we're dropped, it, become the places where we also learn to gather up. So I would say, when some people dropped me, I learned to
gather myself. That's good. Wow. What about you, Donna?
Yeah, I would say for me, what informed my understanding and shaping of love it was really like this blend, or this balance between how it was modeled for me and given to me in both the masculine and the feminine. So, of course, I have women, my mom, my aunties, all the women at church, all the mamas that live up and down the road, because I'm from the country. And seeing the way they interact with each other, the way they show up for each other, the way that they, really come around you, pull you aside, say this, do this, right? But then, in my household, we had a lot of loving language and healthy touch. And so the interaction of our family was such that, yeah, we're not perfect, but we're going to always love each other. But one of the most memorable moments for me, and I say this blend of masculine and feminine because, I grew up around women who were very loving in their presence, even though they were stern and very direct. they would more readily say that I love you. But I had a father who was very vocal about his love for us and knew that my sister and I, he had no sons, so my sister and I would encounter this world in a different way because we were women, because he knew what men would say around women. And there was one particular experience that I had that I feel like is very formative for me that I didn't realize was such a important part of love for me until I became an adult. And that was, I had an accident with my menstrual cycle on the school bus one day. And I came home and I told my mom, and I was so embarrassed, and I was crying, you know, I can't get back on the bus. And to, of course, my chagrin and even greater embarrassment, my mama told my daddy, like, what you telling my daddy for? Like, why you tell daddy? So to my horror, my daddy walks in, you know, into my room and tells me, hey baby, your mama told me what happened today. And I just wanted to like just be swallowed up by the bed. And so he says to me, he says, look, he says, I know this is hard. He says, I know you're embarrassed. He says, but I want you to know that the way God made you as a woman is beautiful, and that you should love that. And it may very well be the thing that gives you the capacity to bring forth life. So I don't ever want you to be ashamed of how God made you and the beauty in how God made you. And him taking the time to say that to me, him being okay, engaging in that conversation with me, is what is the love that rose up in me in times where I was in different encounters where I was being rejected, or the failures, right, of love, or the disappointments in love that really cast off shame for me. You know, it moved me away from shame in the midst of some very tough times. And so, you know, I feel like I was formed and informed both in this masculine and feminine way by displays and acts of love.
Yeah, that's so good. That's a beautiful story about your dad. Shout out to him. So let's talk a little bit about practices, because some of the experiences that shaped my understanding of love or informed my understanding of love was watching how difficult it was for people to actually do it. Like it's always seemed easier for people to say, I love you. And it seemed really difficult and challenging for them to actually practice that love, for them to actually enact that love, which is why a lot of people say love is a verb. Love is an action word. Don't just say it, show me, right? And sometimes we have to say it because people don't always know unless we tell them. So one of the things that we talked about was our love practices, the things that shape and help us to live out a life of love. And so, Angela, I want to show the clip of what you had to say about your love practices. I thought it would be cool to kind of talk to you about your intersections. So you have some intersections, you have some similarities, and of course, to be a Black woman is to be intersectional, right?
Right.
But you all have some similarities that I think you also have in common with many other Black women who are trying to figure out like how to live their lives, how to love themselves well, and how to also love others well. So you're both clinically trained counselors, you're both clergy, of course, but you're also both moms, you're wives. I see you as revolutionaries. And so I want to know, like, when you think about those intersections and you think about how you have to kind of show up in the world as yourself while also walking in all of these other roles, what are your love practices for yourself and for others?
When you said roles, something in my spirit was like, that's it. I think roles, like I named earlier, norms are hard for me. I'm learning how to come out of a lot of norms that were oppressive, but roles sometimes can dictate how you show up. And so one of the practices I've been having to do with all these different people, I said, let's go, people in my house, all these people in my life that I love, that need my love, my career, my spirituality, is almost removing the role that I was taught, or the roles that, you know, are normed, and kind of just sitting with what is my role. So if my child right now, you know, my husband's with my child, and I'm like, they're there, and I'm here, and my role right now is to be amongst these women not to be texting and figuring out, did you feed them, but also as a career woman, as a spiritual leader, what is the role that I'm going to carve out? So essentially, a practice has been really not allowing pre-constructed roles or norms to kind of tell me my role, which is really hard because I'm a rule follower. You say I'm a revolutionary, and that happens when I'm free. But when I'm not free, I'll just kind of fall in line, and I never quite feel full. So a love practice has been being able to define my role and just moving in it in a way that when people go, hey, that's not what you're supposed to do, or moms don't do this, or wives don't do this, I'm like, I know, but this is what I'm supposed to do. And just being excited about that and the creativity on that, it's exciting to kind of go, oh, I can do this. Like, I can be this kind of wife or this kind of counselor, and just carving out that space.
Your comment reminded me of an Audre Lorde quote: if I didn't define myself for myself, I would be crunched into other people's fantasies for me and eaten alive. And being able to define yourself and say who you are and say how you move in the world is absolutely a love practice. It's a self-love practice, and it also teaches others how to love us because we teach them who we are and how we want to be in the world. So thank you, Angela. So Donna, I want to hear a little bit about your love practices. So what do you see as your love practices right now?
My love practices right now, well, first, I think for myself and for others is being present. And being present doesn't just mean like when someone is speaking, being fully present, stopping, and being engaged. It does mean that, but it also means kind of accepting, right? So learning that a person doesn't have to change, practicing that to remind myself that a person doesn't have to change in order for me to love them, even if I get to decide how much of myself I bring to them in this moment, which is about loving me too. It's about the boundaries, right? That I can love you, but I love you in a way that says, I accept all of you, but I don't have to allow all of you to impact me at the same time. So that's one of the practices that I have with God is trust. It is a constant practice of trust. That is the love that I offer to God. And then outside of those two things, truth speaking and being to myself, to others, to God, and then opening myself in vulnerability and intimacy, being willing to continuously do that in spaces that are safe for me, and even interrogate when I close down, such that if there are places where I need to be more vulnerable, I can be.
That's good. Hopefully people are taking notes because these are great practices that, people can live into. So Shalise and Lisa, when I originally asked you all this question, I framed it in such a way because both of you are pastors. And so all four of you spend a lot of time with people. You sit with people, you hold space with people. Angela and Donna, you're both clinicians, and you are practicing with people in a therapeutic space. And Shalise and Lisa, you do the same as pastors, right? And you're also very active in the community. So Shalise, I love how you responded to this question, and I'm not sure if you remember your response, but we're going to play it now.
One of my love practices is to let them leave a message. I think in pastoral ministry, there is an expectation of constant availability. I don't believe in that. I believe that there are times where you are unavailable. Jesus was unavailable. Surely I can be as well. And so sometimes, because I think doing ministry in a predominantly white church context in this current climate requires a lot of emotional work. And I need to know and be able to prepare for the conversation I need to have with you, right? So I can't be blindsided in I just wanted to check and see if you got this email, and then you're gonna ask me like some deep like spiritual thing around race, right? Because I have to prepare for that, right? Because one of the ways in which I've discovered been reminded that my role within this congregation at this particular time is to love people enough to tell them the truth. I have to be able to muster up all my energy in order to do that. And so if you spring that on me in a conversation that was supposed to be about, can I bring cookies? Can you bring cookies to the fellowship after church? Then I might not be prepared to tell you the truth in that moment. And so that's one of the things I do. Like when I can kind of screen what the need is, to figure out, okay, well, for one, does this need to be responded to today on my day off, right? But secondly, Shalise, what space do you have to be in order to respond to that? Get yourself there before you call this person back and have a conversation that's probably going to be tough for both of you.
Let them leave a message.
Leave it.
Any words on that, Shalise?
Yeah, it is what it is. I was just thinking of, the fact I've been really overscheduled the last couple weeks, and I will make that adjustment because that's how I am. I can't live like that. So yeah, I mean, it's so true. I also recognize that like I don't have the capacity to have like one-on-ones with but about 3 people in a day, and be fully present and be able to say what I need to say, to them, and hear what I need to hear, and even appear, right, give the energy to let them know that I'm listening. So yeah, I'm still there.
You're still practicing
I might have
spiritual discipline.
Voicemail in my inbox right now.
Let them leave a message.
Call Tyrone.
That's right.
Someone needs to put that on the background of their phone right now. Let them, their wallpaper, let them leave a message. So Lisa, what about you? Share a little bit of your, maybe 1 or 2 of your love practices.
Yeah. This pandemic has made me mark time differently. And one of the things that I have taken on is asking myself, so it's a kind of a self-love practice, is asking myself, what do you need right now? Because what I needed in August isn't what I need in September. What I need in September isn't what I need in October. It's me honoring my humanity and not being janky to myself. And I think if people see me not being janky to myself, then they'll also trust that I'm not going to be janky to them. Like I will also honor their humanity by asking them, what do you need right now? Because what they needed in August isn't what they needed in September, isn't going to be what they need in October. I think the second thing, this is so I don't know, practical, is I really have a different relationship with my phone, where I don't always have to have it with me when I'm with other people. So there have been events, when I actually get to go outside, where I'm not taking 11 pictures because I just really want to be with people. And so, some of us have talked about presence. I realize how much I was tethered to my phone. I mean, I'm even doing the scrolling motion because it's just so involuntary. So I would say that's the second one, is just being like, when I'm with people, I'm with people. And also too, it allows me to be with myself. The third love practice is letting people sit in discomfort. This, whether it be the black squares that people posted or the books that people read or the book clubs that people joined, people when they start to feel like the shame kicking up, and I would say specifically folks who are white, who are interrogating their whiteness, they feel the shame kicking up. There's this feeling of wanting to retreat, and sometimes coming to me, wanting me to make it feel better. And my thing is, it's going to feel bad, and you're going to have to keep journeying through the discomfort, but it'll be worth it. You will actually preserve your humanity if you can work through it. So I think me actually saying, I actually believe you can do it is one of my love practices, is allowing people to sit in discomfort and not trying to fix the thing for people.
Mm-hmm. Wow, this is so good. One of the things that I realize about this group of women is that one of the reasons why I see you all as grown-ass women is not only because of the vocation that you've been called into, but because you don't hide behind that and not do your own work, so a lot of people choose to help other people so that they never have to look at themselves or do their own work. And one of the beautiful things about you all, and especially the way that you love people, is it's out of a place of health. Like you are doing your work to love yourself well so that you can love other people well. And to me, that's what it means to be a grown-ass woman. Like, are you doing your work? Are you loving yourself well so that you can love others well? So as we get ready to close this conversation, first, I want to just thank you all for being with me this evening and sharing your time and your wisdom and your range. That's going to be my word for Black women. Range, just range. But I'm wondering what final word on love you like to leave with the audience. So it can be anything, but what comes to mind for you? What's coming up in your spirit or your heart right now to share about love as we close this episode?
So for me, I believe that God is love, and I believe that we are created in the image of God, and therefore we are created in the image of love. And so there is no currency in existence higher than love. It is a part of who we are. It is a part of our essence, but it is also who we are becoming. And so love is a verb. It is active. It is embodied. And so that, for anyone who may be feeling like love is sparing in their life right now, please know that it's not. Love is abundant. It is accessible. It is in you. It is a part of you. It is around you. It is in the air that you breathe. Love is divine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I'm gonna ride that wave. I'm feeling the spirit in this. I'm in need of grace in general. This has been a season that's very trying, and I'm empty. So self-care comes back to mind, but I've been learning about why love right now for me feels like almost parting through the unknown. Like the unknown, I'm in complete unknown right now. And being able to breathe and that grace, being able to say, I don't know, but I'm just gonna enjoy this moment and taste the world and party. I say party, but really the freedom to be in the unknown for myself. So the love is showing up in an extreme grace to just not know and not know where I'm going, but still enjoying who I am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah, I feel like one of the most forceful aspects of the gospel to me is the transformative power of love. And I really believe that. Sometimes I say I don't believe everything that's in that Bible, but I believe that love transforms. And so I operate out of that belief, and I pray that folks will operate out of that belief, that if we can love people well, we can love them into their best or better selves, and that when we love well, we receive love in return. And we were talking about practices a few moments ago. Sometimes we think about those practices as things we've kind of perfected or been doing for a long time, so that it becomes second nature. But there are some aspects of love that I'm literally practicing in, trying and failing sometimes and trying again to get it right. And so keep practicing love because love lives and love transforms.
Ooh.
This is good.
So good.
This is good. The two things that are bouncing around in my head are the fact that love takes risks and love takes courage. And I think sometimes we rob ourselves of the opportunity to know what it is to show love wholeheartedly and to receive love wholeheartedly because we're just afraid. And so anyone who's listening, I would just invite you to ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Am I going to fail? Am I not going to show up? And I would just say, just do it. Just open yourself up to love. And you may see that it might come back to you. And the last thing I want to share, it kind of literally dropped in my spirit, is for everyone to know that you are worthy, of love. And anything that anyone is peddling that makes you wonder, like you have to like question, it probably is not it. And in the words of Mary J. Blige, it might not be real love. And it's okay if you walk away. We deserve to not have to wonder if it's love or not.
That's good.
Truth. So true.
Truth. So this is our final episode of season 1, and I want to share my final word about love as I've thought about the conversations I've had over this season and just how I'm trying to live a life of love and love the life that I live. And something that came to mind for me the other day is that love is the way and love is the work. So sometimes we are looking for like, what direction should we go in? What should I be doing? I talk to a lot of people right now who are just in need of clarity, who are in need of like the way. I need to know which way I'm going. And I always say, follow love. Like where is love going? Because love is the way. And also, what should I be doing? What should I be doing with my life? What should I be doing with my time? How should I be using my energy? Love is the work. So if you are loving, you are learning to love, you are practicing love, you are allowing love to inform how you live, then you are doing the work. You are loving, and love is the work. So as we close this episode, I want all of us, all of you who are listening, to just take heed to these words that these beautiful women, these beautiful sisters have shared about love, because it is truth. Everything they've said this evening is truth. So I want to thank you all for being my final guest.
Thank you, Margaret.
For the Love Life season 1. And I want to show folks how they can find you. So we're going to queue up your social media handles, and that's where people can follow you and get to know you a little bit more and just kind of dig into all the goodness that you all are. So as we do that, I want to just offer some closing comments, and feel free to just stay here with me as I say this. Again, I also want to share with our audience that God, we have some talks. We have talks with God on Facebook, and we've had 5 beautiful conversations about intuition and creativity and self-image and self-love, and just beautiful conversations that I think have been very fruitful and filling for the people that have watched them. So if you want to find us, you can go to Facebook and look up Talks with G.A.W.D, and you will see our videos there. So as I said, this is the season finale of the first season of The Love Life. Yes. And I'd like to actually thank all of my guests from the first episode to this one. I just want to thank you all for being a part of this. And I also want to thank our amazing production team who is behind the scenes, always making things happen, even when I don't know what's going on. And again, range, right? So thank you to our guests and our production team for journeying with me this season. I actually can't believe that this passion project, what started out to be a passion project, has taken the life that it has. And this topic is so important to me because the more we talk about love and its vastness and its fullness and its transformative power, the more we can actually cultivate the spirit of love in the world. And I do believe that love is the way and love is the work. So I can't wait for season 2. And in the meantime, I want you all to go back and watch all the episodes from season 1 on YouTube, subscribe and share them. Please tell your friends about the Love Life. And I also want you to dig into your love life. And until next time, I'm Dr. Margaret, and I want you to live a life of love and love the life you live. Thank you. Bye.